Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Spare Parts. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Stephen.
And I'm Taylor.
And today, we are going to be discussing a boring-ass Azerbaijan Grand Prix, an exciting NASCAR race at Dover, and an exciting IndyCar race at Barber, and whatever else we kind of throw in along the way. So, without further ado, shall we begin with talking about Baku?
Do we have
Let's
to?
talk about Baku.
I mean, I'm just going to let you guys talk and then just, sleep.
So honestly, annoyed.
It was,
didn't like the format at all. Like, I know that we talked earlier in the week about giving it a chance.
We did. We gave it a chance.
Yeah, and I hate it. And I know that Max Verstappen also hates it.
So based on this conversation, that's where we're going with this start, right? We're talking about the actual race and the race weekend format. The
I feel
one
like we
practice.
have to because yeah.
So it was one
It's so
practice
stupid.
right into Grand Prix qualifying. Then on the Friday, Saturday is sprint qualifying and sprint race, and Sunday is Grand Prix. So who wants to start talking about that?
Okay, can I just say how dumb it is to okay, so the sprint race, it doesn't even matter for the Sunday Grand Prix. What's the point? Honestly, what's the point of having it? And you can have damage to your car, as Max Verstappen experienced. Maybe it won't affect you in Sunday's race, sure. But here's my question. What if you had such a bad crash in the sprint race and you had to change your gearbox or something for the race on Sunday? How does it affect it? Because, you heard all the engineers saying, well, you have nothing to lose, you have nothing to lose. But do you? Because how is that fair if you get a change?
That's a good
just
point.
because you wrecked in the sprint race, right? So, that's my whole question. And it's just, I feel like there's so much risk with the race. I mean, you get more incidents like the one between Russell and Verstappen.
Okay.
People get maybe their elbows out a little bit more, but I don't get it.
We'll talk about that incident in a second, but before that, I wanted to talk about the two things you mentioned there. One, what is the point? Excellent fucking question, because this sprint race is just an excuse to have cars on the track. It doesn't actually set a grid for anything. There is the qualifying is done. It's just a race that is short. Maybe it'd be fun if the entire race is on maybe hard tires. You don't get soft tires. You get the hardest tires. Everyone is basically driving on bricks. Figure it out. Make it something that's not available for the actual race. Change it up a bit there. But yeah, to your point there. So if you get in an accident, let's say later in the season, you crash in the sprint race, and you damage your gearbox, and you have to take a new gearbox for the other race, for the Grand Prix race. Do you have to get a penalty for that race for taking a new gearbox? I would assume so, because you're taking a new gearbox. It'd be the same if you wreck in FP1, FP2, FP3, or qualifying. You get a new gearbox. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Can I take my penalties in the sprint race? If the sprint race counts as getting penalized for something that happened in it, then fuck it. I don't care about the sprint races. I'm going to put 6 gearboxes in my car all year, have enough gearbox, never take a grid penalty the entire year. That would be a dangerous loophole.
Would be, but that's my whole thing, right? How is that then fair for everybody else? Say you wreck your car on a normal weekend and then you have to take that grid penalty to change it out. Right? So it's this whole thing of well, it's not going to impact the race on Sunday, but it could. So maybe think it through a little bit more. It just seems like this whole thing hasn't been thought out at all, and honestly, it just reeks NASCAR entertainment.
Yeah. Like, I don't know about you guys. I enjoy practice. Do you? Do you enjoy watching practice or just having cars on the background?
It's fun
Yeah,
to have
I
on
mean-
in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also where you kind of see experimentation, right?
Exactly. And like, how many teams brought updates to this race?
Everyone.
What the fuck
Mhm.
was
What-
the point?
I say, what did I send you? It was
Yeah,
like
you sent the
literally
entire list of like
everybody-
everyone's. Yeah. But yeah, there is no point to bringing upgrades to Baku or to, like to this format if one, you get one practice session to figure out if it works or not. Two, this track loves eating cars.
Mm-hmm.
And three, you have double the chance because you have double the chances because you have basically 2 qualifying and 2 races. You know, lot of shit could go poorly there. So yeah, any team that didn't bring an upgrade to this track, I think you have a really good chance of winning in the future. Aston Martin.
I'm just realizing we send each other too much shit because I'm trying to find the upgrades. There it is.
Oh yeah, we send each other way too much. You know that thing where it's like, oh, waking up to my friend sending 300 reels or TikToks or yeah, that's me and Steven.
Yeah, so you had McLaren bringing a big update. AlphaTauri brought a big update. Red Bull brought a big update. Alpine, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo a bit of a smaller update. Williams a small update.
But like, how
Haas
do
a
you
small
know
update.
if these work?
Yeah,
Because like even in
basically
the race,
everybody.
but even in the race, all these teams have brought updates. Did they actually help them in the race, or were they just in a DRS train the entire time? We do not know. So yeah,
The one team I think you can say it helped was McLaren because they didn't look like complete dog shit.
where they finish?
Yeah.
Out
of the
Norris
points,
was
11th.
ninth. Piastri was 11th.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that
Piastri was
Norris
apparent. Piastri, you can put a bit of an asterisk next to because apparently he was battling something all weekend, like he was up puking and whatever. So
Yeah, he had some sort of stomach bug all weekend.
So if he- if
Alpine
he's
has
doing that-
competition basically for that 4th spot now, 5th spot.
5th, yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. Good for McLaren to get there, but still, I don't even know if that's true pace.
Yep.
We'll see.
find
We'll
out
see
more
this weekend.
later on.
But yeah, can we talk about that Russell Verstappen beef
I think that was the only other like
More.
highlight?
kind of point from this weekend because otherwise the
More.
race was trash.
No, the highlight of the weekend
Oh.
was free practice 1 with Crofty getting in every single Taylor Swift joke that he could.
Yes,
Oh,
that
God.
that was the best part.
that was good. That was good. Okay,
And then we
so this
quickly moved
beef.
on from that, and we didn't actually care about the Taylor Swift Alonso thing anymore because it ran its course. But yes,
It did. This beef.
yeah, they can both get over it.
Nah,
You know
they
what?
won't though.
They won't. Well, they won't. Who do you side with?
George.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't like it, but George.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I disagree. I
The,
side with Verstappen on
the
that one.
initial contact, Verstappen turned into George on the straight.
They were side by
Like
side.
they were side by side of the corner, and then Max kind of like little hip checked George in the way, and that's the one that caused the hole in the damn side pod. And then
Mm-hmm.
there was the contact going through the last corner, but that was wheel on wheel, and like you know what, that happens. And like if you're touching wheels going through a corner like that, it's not that bad. And like Max being like,
Okay.
"Oh, he hit me.
No.
Let someone know. We must get the spot back." Fuck off, Max.
And we're not so far removed from ultra aggressive Max that
That's fair.
it's like Max, you did this thing like the same thing to like Hamilton like 2 years ago. Like you would do these stupid ass dive bombs coming out of COVID.
True.
So
Okay, that's a good point.
pump the brakes a little bit. Don't act like I have never done anything wrong in my life. Like the only person that's going to sit there and give you the Ralphio child treatment from Parks and Rec, where it's I have never done anything wrong in my life. I know this and I believe you. Horner will say that. No one else will give you sympathy.
yeah,
That's
like,
fair. All right.
Max, you
Fair
are
points.
that guy.
Yeah.
So is George, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Oh,
they're
both of them
they
are.
both have reputations
Yes.
like that. Like George has
Agreed.
always
Yeah.
been that
Oh.
way, and he just does not care.
Yeah.
And here's the thing,
why
if
do you
you-
think
If you're the
I was gonna say,
winning
why
car,
do you think
if you're shut up, damn it, Steven. That's why we have to do this in person. When you're the winning car, you're always not gonna get the benefit of the doubt. If you're the guy coming through, yeah, people are gonna more likely side with George anyway, just because you're not the guy. Anyway, sorry, Steven, go ahead.
I was gonna say, in this specific moment, yes, I agree with George. But again, I said I don't like that I'm agreeing with George because he's done some other shit this season, the last season, where he's like, "Oh, I don't know, it's not my fault I hit the guy." No, it is your
Yeah.
fault that you hit the guy. If it wasn't your fault, we would say he hit you. However, in this
Yeah.
case, yeah, it's
It's
not.
a little.
George is fine.
No, he's got a.
We
little
went
bit of a
motor
young-
racing.
Yes, exactly.
We went motor racing.
Yeah,
All right.
it's
Well,
it is what it is. So yeah, we had the new format. You know, that's fun. Race itself was boring. Not a whole lot to talk about. And yeah, the DRS train. That's basically it. You had your Red Bull 1-2.
Checo runs the streets.
So
Yes,
we
he
should bet on him
does.
for next week, right? Because it's a street.
I
track,
already
technically.
did.
Okay, nice.
yes, you should.
See, I'm torn a bit because I'm also unsure about Leclerc for the next week because Red Bull's bringing a one-off livery for Miami.
Mm-hmm.
What happens whenever anyone brings a one-off livery, guys?
It's usually a bad time. Do we know
Usually.
who Netflix is following?
Ooh, right, the curse of Netflix too. That'd be a good one. Oh,
Actually, that's a good point. What if it's Red Bull?
But at the
Is
same
it Miami
time,
next?
it's
Yes.
this weekend. They went from Azerbaijan
Gosh.
to Miami.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
In a
because we're
week.
net zero by 2030.
Yep. Yay.
That makes- Total sense.
Yeah.
I
Um,
don't get it at times. The scheduling is stupid.
His scheduling is stupid.
But yeah,
Does anybody have
anyways,
Miami predictions?
we can get to that at the end. I actually have.
Uh,
I have a couple.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
do you
okay.
really want to bet on Charles though? The fact that he made it through a race was celebrated today. or
Progress. Going
Progress.
in
We-
the right
we
direction.
Finished a race.
Excuse me. It might not be the exact same outcome of Verstappen's season last year, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Also,
Podium
that
from
lead-
two DNFs.
that lead from Verstappen's getting chipped away. Also, right?
Good.
Yes. it
Perez getting a
is.
little closer. A little closer.
We all know that Daddy Horner is gonna just say, "Yeah, no. You don't get that."
Or just Daddy Verstappen walks in with a baseball bat.
Yeah, yeah. Like how?
Okay.
Like what's the over under of how many races or how close the gap is before Yoss just walks in and says, "No more of this."
Or, you know, Horner is just like The Incredibles in the end of the first movie. He's like, we're just going to keep it close. Make it look good.
Yeah.
Make it look like there's a fight. We've actually scripted the entire thing. That's
Yeah.
why we screwed over Max in this race anyway. That was
Max reading the
Max got
reading this week's
screwed,
script
right? Like on that safety
by
car.
the safety
and then-
car. Yeah.
Safety car, and then they immediately pit him. And it's like, well, why would you do that? So
Yeah.
confusing there. And then Perez was allowed to jump him. And even after the race, Verstappen was like oddly cheery about it. I ain't saying there's a conspiracy. I'm telling you there is one. But then yeah, one thing I did like to see, and this goes back to a point I made earlier in the season. Aston Martin, Alonso,
Shocker.
but everyone was commending their like teammate-ness, I guess, like being a team.
I won't fight him.
Tell him I won't fight him. Tell him my brake
Right.
bias goes off track.
I'm good.
Yeah. Fernando, you asshole.
But like,
Immediately passed by Hamilton.
but that's an actual like thing there where those two, and this goes back to what I said in the beginning of the season, there is no point fighting Stroll as his teammate.
No.
You might as well completely be on board. You know you're going to be faster. Just be nice to the guy and try to do everything you can for the team.
Yeah, and I mean Stroll, I think also sort of knows his place. Like he knows he's not going to really challenge a 2-time world champion.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's like the one, like probably the most chill driver in the fucking paddock, and he's just like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just happy to be here. The car's good. I'm scoring points. This is great, man.
I swear he is high all the fucking time.
Oh, 100%.
Why did the
100%.
car is green?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like seeing that, and I think people love seeing that because it is so rare in F1.
It's so refreshing.
Because teammates hate each other always. Because that's your biggest rival, is the guy who you're compared against. But at Aston Martin, there's no point comparing against that guy because he's going to be there anyway.
Yep.
I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. Just good, like, teammate-ness. I don't know. Is there a better word than camaraderie? That's a good one. Yes.
Camaraderie. Oh.
What was that, Taylor?
Nope.
You want to try that again?
Nothing.
No?
Oh. Cut it out.
Nope.
My phrasing, too bad. Obviously, I'm tired. Anyway. Is that it for Baku?
Yeah,
No, there's one other thing, and
But-
Sean sort of mentioned it.
Oh.
It was it starts with the DRS train,
Is it the cat?
led by
Oh.
what?
I can't.
No, I was gonna say it's led by conductor Ocon, who had to pit on the last lap.
One.
And
Your tires should not go a whole fucking race.
Yep, one, bring a softer
Yes.
compound. I don't care if it was the softest compounds you could have run it. Bring softer compounds. And then he pit on the last lap and nearly killed some photographers. So that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you see the photo? They were actually
FIA's
putting the rope out.
Yeah. You didn't have anyone who could tell you, like, direct
Wait
that group
30
as to what's
seconds?
going on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it's an unconventional pit stop where, like, you don't usually go an entire race without pitting. This was his mandatory pit stop. This isn't like a second last lap. Oh, I'm gonna go for the extra point because I got a 25-second gap behind me.
You knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's the thing. You knew, like, yes, it's unconventional, but someone had to say, "Hi, this guy hasn't pit yet. We should probably expect him to be coming in soon." So for the second straight race, the FIA has summoned themselves to the stewards.
Summon themselves to the stewards.
Yes, because there was the whole thing with at the Australian Grand Prix when everyone was finishing, of people going through that little gap in the wall. Were they in as much danger? No. Is it still an issue? Yes.
Oh boy.
And it's very much a if I had a nickel for every time this happened, I'd only have 2 nickels. But it's weird that it's happened twice. So,
Is it bad? There's a part of me that's like, man, that's so fucking dangerous. And the other part of me is like, fucking smoke them, fucking idiots.
Jesus.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, it's terrible. But at
Yeah.
the same time, like,
You want to learn a lesson? Here's how.
why, when it comes to safety in motorsports, have so many different leagues been fucking around so much? The more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's only a matter of time when fucking something goes terribly.
Yep.
Was that Taylor?
Oh, sorry. I was just singing in my head.
Oh, okay. You looked like you were kind of crazy there. So,
Sorry.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Anyway, is that all we got? FIA being stupid, boring ass race.
is being
Yeah,
Dumb.
we
stupid.
got
It was a boring
Miami.
race.
Okay,
Dumb layout
so
thing.
now we can do Taylor's Miami prediction.
Fair enough.
Predict winner? Because, like, we're on a schedule here. Like, puck's dropped. Let's go.
Oh my god, you guys want to get to the hockey? Fine.
Okay. My winner is going to be Alonso. Just gonna go with it. Why not? Oh, I bet Sean was gonna pick Alonso.
Hang on.
No, okay.
No.
My pick's going to be Charles Leclerc. So I feel like there's
What the heck?
There's a
What's
weird,
happening?
Yeah, no, there's a weird role reversal here, right?
Did I just like pick up your energy when I was in Markham earlier today?
Probably.
Damn.
Do you have the depression now?
Always had the
No.
depression.
Damn it. So nothing's changed there.
Sorry.
So you can't see what's on my screen. I pulled up the Taylor Swift Eras Tour dates to see if she was going to be in Miami or around Miami. She is in Tennessee. Damn.
Close enough. I don't know where it is in the States. Close enough.
Is that for the
Not
weekend?
close
Where
enough.
is she during the week?
During the week? I don't know.
Yeah, see?
There's nothing during the week, no shows midweek?
There has
Not
to
that
be
I can
a
see.
race midweek.
Okay.
I've got May 5th as upcoming events.
That's Friday?
So that's Friday.
Okay.
And considering the next date is May 12th after this weekend's leg, yeah, I'd say there's no midweek date.
Okay, so we're going to be watching the social media
Yep.
to see if either
No,
Alonso or...
no. Hold on. Yeah, May 6th in Tennessee.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
what
what
I
Steven
said,
said.
right?
Not the weekend.
That
Is
the
it?
weekend.
That is the weekend.
Oh, sorry.
Man,
Good
you
lord.
really are having a stroke there.
My bad.
Anyway, okay. So I have Leclerc. Taylor has Alonso.
I have Checo.
Fair.
That is all good options.
So let's hope the Red Bull or F1 script says no more Max. We need to tighten up this race a little bit more.
That'd be nice. It really would.
Because what is it right now? It is, where is it? 93 to 87. Oh, it's only 6 points.
So if we can get a, Alonso, or no, Leclerc first, Alonso second, and then Perez third trifecta, I think that's a good one to go for.
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I like it.
Max gets punted
And-
out some
and-
more.
Yeah, and hopefully we get like more than 13 on-track overtakes this week.
That was painful. Also, everyone was on the same strategy. It was not good. Those tires were shit for this week.
Anyways, I don't think Baku deserves more attention than we've already given it. Let's move on,
Anyway, yeah.
please.
Agreed.
Taylor's favorite, NASCAR?
Sure.
Or was it IndyCar? No, I think we had IndyCar next.
IndyCar,
Indy.
NASCAR,
Yes.
pick one.
Indy.
Okay, good. Go.
IndyCar.
Barber.
Grosjean sucks.
Yes, Grosjean cannot win.
No, he really... Man, he is choking hard on the Boston
bad.
Bruins out there.
But ting.
Nicely. But ting.
Though,
Yeah, poor Grosjean. Maybe at one point he'll get something.
Honestly, he's been so close.
I mean, hasn't he had like 3 poles?
I think,
Yep.
yeah.
Then?
And how many
And
second
he's
place?
not won once.
He's got 3 poles, 6 top 5s, and 9 top 10s, I think.
He's coming into his own. He's getting better.
Well, yeah, he is getting better. I think he will win this season, but when is the question?
Probably end of year at Laguna Seca.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Thank you. I thought so.
Well,
I
can he
see.
can he wash out of the corkscrew? Maybe.
As long as he can, use someone as a brake going in there.
That's fair.
But yeah, so what else did you have for IndyCar race? IndyCar race is actually really good.
You won money.
I did win money.
Good job.
Fuck you, Steven. We should have started NASCAR.
Okay, we're not talking about this right now. We can
Fine.
hold on this whole mad point until the NASCAR discussion. Anyway, I did not watch IndyCar. I was not paying attention this weekend. I was otherwise engaged. But I'm glad it was good.
Yeah, me and Steven basically sat at our computer all Sunday and watched F1, IndyCar. And then we sat at our computer Monday at work and watched NASCAR. Because NASCAR got rained out
I
Sunday.
tried,
Oh, right, because it got rained out until Monday.
but yeah, it was a good overall race, right, Sean? Like,
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good to see an actual fight up front. There wasn't a whole lot of diverse options and strategy. That kind of got killed with the one yellow, which usually always happens. But that's the risk you run. If it's a clean race, you have a good strategy. If it's not,
Yep.
you have the risk of having your whole strategy go tits up. But yeah, it was a decent race. You had a very good battle at the end between McLaughlin, Grosjean, and Will Power even coming in there too. I think he was on the alternates. The other two were on the primaries.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a good race. You kind of didn't know, like, the last 20 laps had you on edge. Like, first it was, can Grosjean hold off McLaughlin? The answer was no. McLaughlin made a great move to get by him. So first of all, it was on the pit stop sequence. Grosjean came out behind McLaughlin. He passed him on his cold tires while Grosjean's were hot. Then a couple laps later, McLaughlin came back at Grosjean, and that was basically that. And he had nothing for him because Grosjean ran out of push to pass.
Yep.
Which you don't see often.
From the lead? No.
No.
Usually it's the guy behind you burning it up.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And then Power came in at the end basically to try to catch them and see what he could do.
Let's
Put
really
pressure on them.
illustrate how clean this race was. How many laps was this race?
Good question.
90.
I actually don't know.
It was 90 laps. How many drivers finished with 90 laps completed? Out of a field of 27.
25.
Everybody but Stingray Robb, who went out on lap 36.
Huh.
Everybody was no lapped cars. So it was a competitive field.
Yeah, that's impressive actually to think of. There was nothing? Oh god, what happened to you?
Don't die.
Wrong pipe.
Okay. Jesus.
Oh.
Well,
Not
for the
dead.
rest
We're
of
good.
us that can drink properly and exist.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, IndyCar is a great venue there, Barber. I love it. And now we're getting into the month of May. So you're going to see month of May.
mhm.
So now we have the road course coming up, and we have the 500.
Hey.
So I don't really have much more notes to talk about the IndyCar race because it was kind of just very smooth and no drama. Not a whole lot happened. Just a good race. And honestly, people who want good racing, especially after the F1 race, should have tuned into that because that was a good race.
Yep.
But we can get predictions for the Indianapolis Grand Prix.
Do I wanna
Okay.
be bold
Here's my
and say it?
prediction.
I am
Go
bold,
for it.
Steven. I will be bold. Okay, go Taylor.
Okay.
Marcus Ericsson.
I fucking hate you because that's actually a good pick. So, can't say much to that. He's been good. He's been good. He really has.
Been good. He's probably given me the most points in my IndyCar fantasy thing that we did.
Considering he's leading in points, yeah, that's an understatement.
Yes. Okay, what's your pick?
I will go a dark horse for this race.
Oh boy. Okay.
A guy who looked very good this weekend. Didn't have the total speed, but you know what? I think it could come this weekend. Rahal Letterman Lanigan team. Christian
Not
Lingard.
I don't hate that
Interesting.
pick.
Interesting. Not bad.
RLL as a team, I don't love, but he's
Lingard looked really good this weekend.
And where did
and
he
that-
fit last year? He was 9th. Last year at Indy.
I think
So I
he was
don't hate that
he
pick.
was first on the alternate strategy last year at Indy. But also, which Indy race it was too? Remember the rain one?
The first one.
Yeah.
Like I'm going month of May comparable.
Fair enough.
So this is one I'm gonna be bold and say Grosjean wins it.
I don't know if he does.
He does.
Okay,
He's
let's
had
jump
good
into
races
either
here.
one.
He's had good races here. I think last year he just got unlucky
Fair enough.
with it rained at the end of last year's race, right? So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Instead
think he
of
just got unlucky there.
instead of picking just a winner, would you want to also pick someone else you think will podium?
Podium.
So
Well, podium? Grosjean.
guaranteed top 3. That's not a terrible answer.
I kind
I'll
of
say
win.
my-
It's I don't know to podium. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good pick.
I can see Grosjean being there. I don't see him winning.
It's just funny that
It's just funny how.
That's how it comes out.
That's fair.
To win, to podium.
Yeah.
Duh.
For me, who would I say? You know who's due for a podium?
Who?
Colton Herta.
Oh, that's not a bad choice either. I like that one. He is actually due
Really?
for a podium, I'm not gonna lie. What do you
You
mean?
like that?
It's a good choice. I mean,
No,
do
you're
I
just usually
like him?
very anti-Herta.
I was anti-Herta coming into F1. He wasn't that good.
He
But
is
I think it's still
okay.
a good choice.
I would love to put Herta and Stroll in a room together because I'm pretty sure that would just be the most mellow fucking environment in the world.
Maybe, but like also looks like he got stomped on his face.
I don't know which one you're talking about, and I'm just gonna just say okay, sure.
What do you mean? It's like flat.
Again, I don't know which one of those two you were talking about when it comes to their face. Looks
Oh,
like they
I
face
just
up
said Colton Herta.
one. Okay, but I didn't know. It could be either or.
Anyway. No, Stroll has like a 3D face shape. Herta's very cardboard box like. He's like a box man.
Yeah, the Andretti cars have been looking a lot better. You had Kirkwood winning. You had Grosjean strong all weekend. The three are getting their shit together. We just don't talk about the fourth Andretti car. Like, at this point,
Exactly.
is it a national embarrassment?
Is it?
Is it? No, maybe that's too far. Like, I have nothing against Evan DiFrancesco. I actually think he's actually a nice guy. But wow, is he struggling this year? He is last in points.
Wee.
The only person he is beating is Ed Carpenter, Takuma Sato.
Yee.
Yee.
Yeah. He's done 4 races. Carpenter has done 1. And he's just out of... if you double Carpenter's points, you're basically a DiFrancesco. So...
Not great, Bob.
No, it's not. So that's concerning. I don't know, maybe he turns it around. Just put all your effort in. If you put all your effort in winning Toronto, it's a fine season. If Devlin DiFrancesco can somehow win at Toronto, everything about him is fucking fine.
Mike Conway did it, so I won't doubt him.
Mike Conway did it twice, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so either way. Just to round it out, podium, I'll say Scott Dixon. No, he's finished 9th there twice. So
He's not great on that track, is he?
it's not that he's not great. He's just, it's not that he's bad. He's just not great. Like top 10 guaranteed. But
Yeah.
I'll say I'll say Pelot podium. Just to put something out there.
Also, at this point in the season, in terms of IndyCar, in terms of standings, do we have like a 5-horse race? Is that kind of it determined?
Without the double points,
There
yeah,
is no double,
kinda.
because there is no double points, right?
Looking at it, so you got Mark Ericsson's at 130, 25 points down to 6th place at Newgarden. You can maybe stretch it to 8 at Dixon because that's over the course of an entire season, or like what's left.
So we're saying the top 8 are basically locked in.
Sure, like I don't want to. It's still early, but I was gonna say this when it came to like NASCAR, for F1 less so, but like so for NASCAR, the last couple episodes we've said, it's still early, anything can happen, but at one point or another, you have to flip it, and it's just not too early. It's a trend. So,
Like in F1, you can argue there's like what 20 odd races left.
yeah,
There's 13 in IndyCar. Like we're almost a quarter of the way through the season.
well, so okay, so is Kyle Kirkwood a championship contender?
No.
Okay, so is Dixon?
I'm hard pressed to say so, to be honest.
Hard pressed, but you wouldn't be surprised if he rattled off like 3 wins in 10 races and mixed in a bunch of top 5.
I don't think he can. This field is so fucking competitive. I don't think he could.
Yeah, but you wouldn't at the same time. You wouldn't be surprised, right?
No, but the fact is, he would have to also beat all those other guys who are already way ahead of them, who are also going to be up there. Like, you can have a bad race here and there, and still be up there. But over the season, like right now, Pallou's worst finish on the year is 8th. Marcus Ericsson's first finish is 10th. Award's gone 2nd, 17th, and 4th. Like, there's his bad race.
Yeah.
Grosjean, 18th, 14th, 2nd. Like, you know, some of these guys, they're right there and they're putting in, but like, if you look at Dixon and on the gear, but then again, yeah, I see what you mean. He's had one bad race.
Because, well, I was going to say, and so like Will Power, is that your cutoff? Because Dixon's only 6 points away from Will Power. And if you're going to say Will Power's in it, how can you not say Dixon's in it at 6 points out?
I would say Dixon's in because his results have at least been there. Kirkwood,
sort of a one-off with the win, right?
Is that a one-off win? It looks like it. It looks like it's a one-off. His best results besides the win is 12th.
Yeah, so that's where it's like,
That's why I don't consider him a contender.
Yeah, and so like if you take out the win, he's probably like not that much further down, like, but he's probably down near Rossi at like 72, Malukas is at 74. He's somewhere in that mix with Lundgaard, Isla, and that's sort of like he's out of it.
And this is a big if, anyone in that 15 to 9 range wins this weekend, they're in. If they don't win this weekend, no chance.
Yeah.
You gotta jump up there, and you gotta be like, "Hey, I'm part of this." But yeah.
Yep. You don't even have the chance to double point yourself into it either. So
no. So it's basically like Malukas, Rossi, Lundgaard, Eilert, Herta.
So you know what? Here,
any one of those guys win, they're in.
I was just say at this point, just to move this along, we'll say the cutoff right now is Dixon, barring a win. We can review next week, or 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Fair enough. Before the 500? Yeah.
Going into qualifying.
Fair enough.
Fabulous.
So yeah, that's all we got. So we're going to start this conversation with a big old fuck you to Steven. The reason I say that, and I was fucking furious Monday, because for the last like 7 races I have bet on NASCAR, whether it be Cup or Xfinity, I have lost because every one of my drivers has come second, you know? And like, it's annoying. And that's why Steven kind of mentioned, hey, at least won money on IndyCar. Was great. Yeah. Ben and McLaughlin. Perfect. Yep. You know, made $20 off that. Really good. So yeah, I wouldn't have a problem losing the NASCAR side of things. The issue is, okay, Steven wins every single one of them. And I come second. So again, it's not the fact that I'm losing. It's him winning that pisses me off.
That's fair. That I understand your anger.
No, it's not just anger. It's just
but
like
also
I
you
want
do
to
it to
strangle
yourself.
him through my screen.
Anger.
I hope your hockey team gets knocked out.
Oh, they're down 1-0 right now, so.
Ooh, really nice.
Screw you.
Suckers.
Why do you say that? Like, you know,
0-2 on the power play too.
Team, okay.
Anyway, so NASCAR this weekend.
Again, I did not pay attention to it on Monday. To be honest, I didn't even know it was on Monday until it was over.
That's fair. I just slowed day at work, so I was able to actually kind of pay attention to it for most of the race. And it was interesting because the first stage of the race, like literally the first stage, was more chaotic than we have seen in like the last 4 weeks of racing. Remember how we've said about NASCAR, like, oh, it's been oddly clean, or like, you know, not a lot of yellows. There was 3 in the first stage, not even including the one to end the stage. All with different incidents and stuff, and there was also like a competition caution in there as well. So it took forever. And in that first stage, 3 of the guys I bet on got knocked out. Again, fuck you, Steven. But, so it was a very chaotic first stage, which then transitioned into the second and third stage of the race being green flag the entire time. And very good racing, good running. And, like, again, this felt like a NASCAR race. Like, I don't know if, Steven, you have the results pulled up there. How many guys were on the lead lap to finish?
Ooh.
'Cause, like, at a certain point, there was, like, 12 guys in the lead lap. But that's what a NASCAR race is. It's like an endurance race, you know? It goes green, you're getting your long runs in. And in these long runs, you basically had 2 guys dominating most of the race. And it was Ross Chastain and it was Martin Truex. Like, they were the class of the field for most of the race. You also had Byron, but he even said his car was not a long run car. He was great at the beginning of the stages, great in the short runs, but his car died and his balance went away, and he just slowly started trickling back.
Yeah.
So,
and to answer your question, it was 12 guys on the lead lap. Bubba Wallace was the last one at 12.
See, 12 guys. So yeah, like it was a really entertaining race. You had your comers and goers, and it's what a NASCAR race should be. Like, that is what a NASCAR race is. And then you had it at the end with Logano losing a tire, I think, with like 12 to go, which set up your natural overtime finish. Did this race run the actual distance?
Yeah.
I think it did, right?
Yeah, it was 400 laps.
Yeah, like you didn't have extra laps. You had just what it is. And I thought it was such a good race for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No complaints about this race. I'm a little pressed to try and comment on it because I was sort of in and out of it with work, but it was a good race.
I enjoyed it. And even, like, I think, what's the Jeff Gluck poll at?
It is at...
I saw 77, I think, earlier.
76.5.
Yeah,
that's with 11,000 votes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people really enjoyed this race. I don't know why you would say it's a bad race. What did you want out of that?
It to not be on a Monday.
Well,
you know
sometimes it happens. You can't control the weather.
That's fair. And the fun part of the race, which I think everyone, even though I didn't like the ending and who won, you have to love that Martin Truex Jr. won and his brother won on the Saturday.
Xfinity.
Yeah, he won the Xfinity. So he had both Truex brothers winning. That. And you're like, you know what? It's like Fallout. Everyone like that? Yeah. Like, you can't end... What was the Truex drought? It was like 50-something races, I think?
It was a long time. Like, it was... Well, because he was unstoppable the year before, right? In 2020?
Was he unstoppable? Sorry. I thought it was Harvick that year.
20... Or maybe it was 2020, so maybe it was 3 years ago he was unstoppable.
Okay.
Right? Or he had like the similar to Harvick, like 5 wins, and he just hadn't been the same since.
Yeah.
Right? Like last year was so bad, it was like, man, is this guy gonna retire? Because like he doesn't look like he has it anymore.
No, and honestly, going into this weekend, he really didn't look like he had it much this year at all. Like, he's been in the top 10, 4 times? Like, this was his win. So he was kind of like flirting with the top 10, being a teens driver most of the time.
Yeah, so it was 2 years ago in 2021. He had 4 wins and finished second in the championship.
And
then last year dips down to 17th.
What was his last win?
His last win before that was in 2021, and it was at Richmond.
Yeah, look at that now. So he went almost a whole season without a win. And
he did go a whole
season.
Yeah.
And for a guy of that caliber, yeah, like, that's kind of, I would say, concerning. And Dover's a hard track to win at, too.
Yeah. Yeah. The old guys are just sort of coming back. Like, where's Kevin Harvick in the championship right now?
5th.
3rd.
Fuck. But it's the same thing in IndyCar, right? Like you have your young guys and your old guys are both mixing it up, and you kind of don't really know which side's taking over yet.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, those old guys are gone, and the young guys are the old guys, right? So.
Yeah, but so like, you want to talk about the old guys coming back. So Brad Keselowski last year, 24th in his first year at RFK. Well, maybe he's moving on to ownership. He is currently, where'd it go here? Ninth. And the RFK has improved.
They've had a huge bounce back this year, though.
Yep. Kyle Busch sitting 8th, right above him. Truex sitting 4th. Harvick sitting 3rd. Like, we're in a bit of a renaissance year.
Yes, but to be fair, Chase Elliott missed a whole bunch of time, and now, what is it? Bowman is going to miss a bunch of time now, too, being hurt.
Yeah.
So.
Fractured vertebrae, and they think he's only going to be out the next 3 races. That's fucked.
I mean, it's like a compression fracture. I don't know if you saw his crash, but basically it barrel rolled up and over and then back down on the wheels down side. So that's going to sink your back in there and definitely not be pleasant.
Yeah. So I think we should probably have this conversation since everybody's having it. Mostly because this is a NASCAR thing, less so in F1 and less so in IndyCar. Should you be letting your guys do the extracurriculars?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Because I can understand both sides. I also lean towards let them do it, especially if they think. Yeah. Thank you.
You make that joke all the time. I've let them fight. I say let them race, and all of a sudden I'm the asshole. No, fuck you.
Yes, you are. Don't steal my thunder. Like, I can understand it as an owner because you're investing a bunch of money into these guys, and I'm not that Alex Bowman's the big name, but like for when Chase Elliott was out, I'm investing in Chase Elliott to be the face for my sponsors. That's why they're paying me sponsorship money. That's why I'm paying their salaries. I'm not paying for Josh fucking Berry to.
But he is technically the reserve driver, so he is under contract.
Yeah, he's not the. Sponsors aren't going to be happy if he's racing half the season because Chase goes out and breaks his back on a tree while snowboarding. Right? So I lean towards yes as well. There was a very spirited debate between Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi on their podcast. Jordan is very anti. No, I'm an owner and I'm paying these guys. They're not doing anything. Why? Like F1 guys don't need the extra practice to do their races.
Flip that. F1 have had multiple drivers have had biking accidents, which has put them out as well. Should F1 drivers not bike? No, of course not. Shit happens. And I think it was on the broadcast. What's his name? Clint Boyer was talking about this is great seat time for a lot of them.
Yep.
You don't get the same testing. You don't get the same. I think Cup guys are banned from Xfinity now, right? So, or you can only do maybe so many runs. You can't do full time both seasons. So, for that, it's seat time that you don't get in other places, and that's the biggest thing for every driver to feel in the groove and to feel fast and to be confident is seat time. It helps more than anything else.
Yep. Plus, then we'd miss out on guys doing the double.
Yeah.
I'd much rather see them do that.
Exactly.
And the problem I had, if you do go back and listen to the Teardown episode, it is a really fun debate because they go on for 20 minutes because it's but the whole problem I have with Jordan's argument in defending the ownership side, where would you draw the line? Do you draw the line at one-offs? Because okay, we're not going to let them do any extracurriculars, but Kyle Larson next year can go do the double. I'd much rather have him race in sprint cars versus the Indy 500.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And even on that too, the whole idea of doing multiple different categories, back in the mid 90s to basically about 5 years ago, almost every driver was a specialist. You didn't veer away from your category. In NASCAR, the only guy who didn't do NASCAR was Tony Stewart. And then it was basically Kyle Larson was the guy who was like, no, I still want to, drive dirt cars also. And that kind of changed it. IndyCar, you had basically open wheel only guys, If you didn't come up racing open wheel, you had no chance of being an IndyCar. Now, if you look at IndyCar, you have guys coming over from F1. Robert Wickens showed he came over from DTM, which probably led the door to McLaughlin coming over from supercars. And
Canapino this year.
Yeah. So I think racing right now is actually in a really good place with the bunch of guys being, I guess, interchangeable. Like, you can go from one category to another. You can do sports cars. You can do racing. Like, that's what the glory days of racing used to be. Except you're not going to die anymore. Like, you think Mario Andretti got great doing one thing? No. He's one of the best ever because he fucking drove everything with 4 tires. Whether it had a roof, whether it didn't, whether it blew up, whether, if it could drive and he could go fast in it, he could. So yeah, we should definitely allow drivers to do whatever the hell they want.
Yep. And also, it's free marketing for your stuff if a name shows up somewhere, right?
And it helps smaller things like dirt racing grow as well.
Yep.
When I show up to a local dirt track, maybe if I'm feeling it. Oh shit, Kyle Larson's going to be there? I'll go.
Yep.
Like, it just draws people out, and it just helps build your sport from the grassroots up, which many sports fail at nowadays.
Yep.
Looking at you guys in your hockey shirts. Anyway, moving on.
All right. I guess quickly, Kansas is coming up. Any predictions for Kansas?
Ooh, no. I'm going to ask my AI on my Snapchat what it thinks who will win Kansas. And
excellent call. I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick just because fuck you, Sean.
I'm going to go with... Who did I pick last week?
Good question. I don't think we had a pick for Dover.
I don't think we did.
Okay. Let's go... I'll go Chastain. I'll switch it up from my normal Byron.
I'm going to go Tyler Reddick.
You fucker.
Actually, the AI is telling me it can't do... I don't watch things. I can't tell you what that's. So fuck you, AI. You're not helpful.
Oh, shit.
I know. You have to work it to give you an answer. It's
your
really
AI just hates
so
you.
My AI does. Okay. I started off my AI on Snapchat by saying send nudes, and I think it doesn't like me after that.
That's probably.
I don't think it does. I think it probably felt harassed.
It should. But anyway,
Fair.
I'm picking Tyler Reddick because Tyler Reddick's the last guy I won betting with. So you know what? I'm gonna go back to him.
He's also the guy that you lost so much betting with last year, but okay.
But he's also the guy I've won with this year. So we're going to stick with that.
Okay.
Son of a bitch. Sean, now my AI is not telling me anything.
I'm sorry, I broke the AI.
How am I supposed to win?
I don't know.
Okay.
So is that all we got?
That's all we got.
Okay, go watch your hockey.
Time.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We'll be back next week to talk all things motorsports. Thank you, and goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.